myself. I'm his lawyer.
Okay.
This is Liz. She was a witness at the IHOP, and we'll talk a little bit. She'll talk last, and the second is his wife.
Zeta, come see if I got this on.
So the three of us will speak.
See if I got this video on, because I don't think I do.
And you guys are going to do it one at a time?
Yeah.
You do record.
Okay, and go live from where I'm at? Please, yeah, put no justice, please, yeah. Thank you.
Hold on, we might have to. And also, if you have your phone on you, make sure it's on silent.
Silent, Zeta. Zeta. Make sure you tag Sean, Lisa, Karen, tag all of them, please. Freddie, make two doors. Oh, okay. She was like posting Facebook, you know. So they were like, what you gonna do? When you gonna work on it? I put it up, had it up for everybody, Instagram, Facebook, everything. Just be talking to them. Just running your mouth. Running your mouth. Well, this should have been packed out. There's probably no some people at work. Yeah, I know everybody ain't. Yeah, this should have been packed out. I'll hop when we packed out. Yeah, I'll hop. I put it up this morning before it packed out. You called him? Guess what, Miss Lee is in the room with Nate. Nate Moore.
Are y'all coming in? Y'all just...
She want me to record this, Miss Liz, for her page. The lady that was recording. So I'm recording for her.
Hey, Misha. Hey, boo. You doing good? Thank you. Hi. Are you Mr. Renardo's mom? I'm Sarah Black. Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming. I'm so sorry about
Sarah Black, you're pretty. That's what she needs. That's his lawyer. Lawyer, you're pretty too, baby. Lawyer.
Oh, yes.
You see our sign, raising white black activists. Raising black activists, baby. Young black activists people in there.
Are we still waiting on anybody?
No, everybody's
Call them, pop way, bombard them with phone calls. They're not answering right now, but we calling them, trying to shut them down. Like last night. Yeah,
We need to come together. Right is right and wrong is wrong.
Exactly.
There's no way you should have a gun.
I'm talking about y'all.
This the one who was saying that she didn't allow for it.
Thank you all for being here. My name is Sarah Black, and I represent Mr. Renardo.
Natasha, something, I know that's his sister name. Yeah, but that's not a, that's it. She worked at not a restaurant. She went to all the stuff up for RCs.
Saturday night, early morning, Sunday, for an incident that happened at an IHOP here in Marietta. We are here today because for the past 72 hours, the Marietta Police Department, the media have discussed this case. The case has gone viral. The video, we've all seen it at this point. And what has been said about Mr. Lewis is false. And so we are here today to tell guys and to tell the community about who Mr. Lewis is, and to demand two things. Today you're going to hear from me. I'm going to speak a little bit, and then you're going to hear from two people. You're going to hear from Liz Toledo. She was the witness who was present at the IHOP on Saturday and who actually videoed the incident that happened. And you're also going to hear from Ms. Franklin, who is Mr. Lewis's beloved wife of almost 10 years. They've been together almost 20 years. They both live here in Marietta, or in Marietta, have done so for a very long time. Mr. Lewis is a business owner. He owns RC Southern Cooking in Marietta. Ms. Franklin owns a business, has been here for many, many years, and was at IHOP on Saturday night after celebrating a family member's birthday party. They stopped in to get some food, and there was a customer service dispute, something that has happened to, I'm sure, all of us. And in that dispute, they being my client and his wife, requested corporate's phone number. So I want to clear something up right now. You guys may have heard Marietta Police has said that this case is about bacon. This case has nothing to do with bacon, and honestly, that insinuation to reduce what happened, the assault, the attack on my client to bacon is inflammatory, it's discriminatory, and it's offensive. Most importantly, it's false. They requested corporate's phone number, and at some point, the manager contacts, at least our understanding is that he contacts the police department, and they show up, and you will hear from the witness, Ms. Liz, who will speak in a minute, how the second they walked in, they came in essentially guns blazing, with the proverbial on a high horse, yelling, screaming, looking at my client, automatically assuming he's up to no good. Because they don't know that this is a community member, a business owner, a father, a loving husband. And almost immediately they assume, apparently they were there because somebody said that he had made threats. I haven't heard from anybody who has said he has made any threats other than the police. Nonetheless, they don't pat him down, even though they were allegedly scared. Apparently he had made gestures to a gun. They're there for about 3 minutes, aren't seemingly scared. And at some point, you see in the video, my client, they ask for his ID, he goes to his ID, and then he kind of looks over because he hears police getting louder with his wife, and he's concerned for her. He's her protector, he loves her, and he turns around, and at that point, you see in the video, my client gets slammed against the glass so hard that some of the witnesses thought the glass was going to break, and then you see what the Marietta Police Department has categorized as a wrestling match, or wrestle. And I want to clear something up about that too. Nothing about what happened to my client was a wrestling match, okay? It was a mob-style attack by 5 or 6 officers on top of this one man. He's tased, he's punched, he's kicked. They knocked his tooth out. In fact, this morning, we took photographs of him. His tooth is completely knocked out. His eyes are still completely bloodshot. This was not a wrestling match. This was an attack by 5 or 6 officers on this one man. And you hear, and Liz will tell you more, he never at any point threatens anybody's life. He never resists arrest. He's in pain. And he's tased. And he's injured. And he's arrested. And nonetheless, he sits in this jail, as he has for 3 days without bond, and will apparently sit here until April 22nd without bond, and he's presumed innocent. He's got a business, he's got employees, he's got a family, but apparently our system thinks that he is so much of a threat, so much of a danger, that he's got to sit in the Cobb County Jail for almost a month. So that's why we're here today. We are demanding two things. We are demanding, one, that the GBI come in and investigate the Marietta Police Department's conduct. The Marietta Police has already said they are very proud, and those are the quotes. Their statement, they are proud of their officers, and so we have no faith that they're going to do any objective investigation. And so we're requesting that the GBI come in and investigate, but we're also requesting an immediate interview, immediate sit-down meeting with the Cobb County District Attorney's Office so that we can discuss these charges, discuss a bond. Nonetheless, my client sits in that jail day after day after day, and he is innocent. So at this time, I would like to introduce Liz Toledo. She will do a few words about what she witnessed.
My name is Liz Toledo, Lizztoledo. I'm with the Atlanta People's Power
I were sitting there, just full disclosure, my family and I were sitting there at IHOP that evening. We were having a celebration as well for my mother-in-law's birthday. We had just come from the Temptations and Four Tops concert. Good show, go see it. And we were celebrating her birthday, sitting there having pancakes and enjoying ourselves. The manager that was, very rude to Mr. Lewis had already been rude at our table. My husband is African American. They happened to order omelet with bacon, and the bacon was thrown up on top of the eggs. It wasn't inside the omelet, so my husband complained, and the manager was like, well, that's all cooks are different, and threw the plate and walked away. So I think maybe he had that table confused with the Lewises when they started talking about bacon, because the Lewis, when Mr. Renardo, the first thing I heard from Mr. Renardo was him saying, why didn't you tell us this 30 minutes ago, or something to that effect? Why didn't you say it 30 minutes ago? Why didn't you say something 30 minutes ago? I'm not sure if it was 30 minutes he said, but something minutes. And so I looked, because as I said, I'm an activist for 30 years. When I start hearing sounds like that at a predominantly white establishment, I want to really hone in and figure out what's going on. So I started moving towards the door to hear more clearly what's going on. At this point, I heard Ms. Lucrece ask the manager, well, let me have your phone number. And he said, no, I don't have to give you my name and phone number. And she said, well, let me get your the headquarters number. No, I don't have to give you that either. And then the police walked in, and I started recording. The police that walked in were a male officer and a female officer. The female officer was okay. The male officer started screaming, yelling, move out of the way, shut up, all in Mr. Lewis's face. Mr. Lewis said, you don't have to yell at me. I'm a man just like you. Talk to me like a man. And the officer just like, shut up and get out of the way. And if you want respect, then you should give respect. And Mr. Lewis says, no, you give respect too. I'm not disrespecting you. You came in here disrespecting me. And they're going back and forth. Then the female officer pulls Mr. Lewis to the side, and Ms. Lucrece is talking to the male officer. The female officer is having a conversation with Mr. Lewis, and then some more police officers came in. Maybe 2 or 3 more police officers came in. One of the police officers that just walked in asked Mr. Lewis for his ID. At this point, the male officer that was speaking to Ms. Lucrece is yelling and screaming at her. So Mr. Lewis turned to try to see, why are you talking to my wife like that, kind of a thing. And that's when they grabbed him, they slammed him up against the wall. It's all in the video. The video speaks for itself. And then, I was one of the witnesses that was shocked that glass didn't shatter, because they really slammed him really hard up against that wall. I thought I heard his head bang the wall, but at any rate, at that point, Mr. Lewis is saying, what's going on? Why are you doing this? I didn't do anything. What are you doing? And all the other witnesses are screaming the same. They grabbed him and they wrestled him to the ground. He said, I'm trying to sit. I'm trying to sit. And his wife is saying, he's trying to sit. Stop, don't do anything. And they pushed her out of the way. And she was just trying to get him to, in my opinion, and through my experience, I think she was just trying to get him to not even make any kind of a gesture or move, because he might end up dead, like many black and brown men and women end up dead from minor things across this country, by police officers across this country. So I think she was just trying to just chill, do whatever they say to kind of not, but Mr. Lewis was not resisting arrest. He was not threatening anybody. He never threatened anybody before the police got there. He just said, I don't want any bacon. I don't know what you're talking about. He never made any gestures to try to pull out any guns or do anything that was threatening in any way. I was there throughout the whole time. He did not do any of what they're alleging. And at that point, they tased him. They started punching him in the face. His hands were already behind his back. I don't know if he was already cuffed, because I couldn't really see, but his hands were already behind his back. They had one knee on or a foot on his neck. He was screaming, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. I started screaming, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, just in case they didn't hear him. And then They grabbed him. One of the officers said, he's trying to go after my taser. I said, that's a lie. He's not. His hands are behind his back. He's not trying to do anything. Are you guys trying to find an excuse to shoot him? And then they grabbed him and they brought him outside. And that's when the video ends. So yeah, that's what I saw, and we're gonna keep pushing. The People's Power Assembly is gonna keep pushing. We want the DA to drop all charges. We want IHOP to make an apology to the black community. We want the national office to make an apology to the black community, not only in Georgia but nationally. We're sick and tired of this going on, and we want it to end. Thanks.
Thank you, Liz.
Right, and now we can have Ms. Franklin Grace a few words.
I'm LaBreeze Franklin Lewis. That has been my husband and my significant other for 19 years. This is a picture when we first got married 9 years ago. My husband is a great, incredible guy. He is a business owner in Marietta. I'm also a business owner in Cobb County for 15 years. The way they have presented my husband to me is the total opposite of who he is as a man. He's an excellent father, grandfather. He has a business team that supports the community, and he used to be a coach. He supported young kids. He has always tried to do the right thing since I've been with him, and I did not appreciate how he was portrayed in the news. Also, I'm begging the district attorney to do the right thing by dropping my husband charges, because I feel like you know that that's the right thing to do. You know that you have him incarcerated for no reason, and you know that your officers were wrong and you are trying to take up for him. I will not stand by and let y'all do this, defame my husband and defamation of his character, because you guys are just trying to get yourselves out of trouble. I'm here to stand up for my husband. I just want y'all to know he's a good man. My husband's a good man. I wish y'all could meet him. He's a great man, and he's a family man. And if I could have brought more pictures, I would have, just to represent who he is as a person. Thank you so much.
Can you take us through what happened before police arrived?
Before police arrived, I came out the restroom. I heard the waiter, heavyset Caucasian man, talking, and I'm like, who is he talking about? Because he was cussing and fussing. So when I went around the corner, because we were still in the waiting area, we were just ordering to go. We never did sit down and eat. We never sat down and ate. So I heard my husband, and I'm like, well, what's going on? He was like, the man came around the corner, and he was like, this man is fussing with you about bacon. I didn't even ask him for bacon. I was asking if they cook omelets. My husband is a chef. So when he first came in and they said they didn't have a prep, he seen them cooking. He said, you don't have to prep for omelets. So that's why he went back in and asked them, are they cooking omelets? So anyway, at this time, the man heard my husband talking to me as we were about to walk out, and he started fussing with my husband. And my husband was like, sir, I'm not talking to you. And they exchanged words, and I'm like, well, hold on. Let's just do all this. Let me get your corporate number and your names. His name was Joseph. First he told me his name was John. He did not want to give me his name. Then he said, just call me John. His name ended up being Joseph. It was Whitney and Delia. And they were all the ones that were running around talking and laughing, and he needed to do this and he needed to do that. And I'm like, we are customers. You don't treat us like that. We're business owners as well. So I just didn't want them,
What drove the cook to call 911? Do you know what drove?
I have no idea. No idea.
And it's important
It's called
to note
being
that
black.
right now, none of us have any idea. He's
No
not
idea.
entitled to any discovery. But nonetheless, as I said, he sits in the jail. But we don't know. So we'll try and request a 911 call. Hopefully they release it to us, but we're not entitled to anything at this point.
Where did this bacon dialogue come from?
I have no idea.
Fake news.
Liz had
They confused our table with what they were talking about.
Fake
And I don't
news.
know how.
Subliminal racism.
We
Right.
were seated and
Subliminal racism. That's what it is. Subliminal racism. Bacon. Yes.
And he told them, sir, I don't even eat pork.
It's like,
And I
no.
told them what's important about that is if you look at the Marietta Police Department statement, the Marietta Police Department in their statement, they boil this down to bacon. I mean, they attribute the bacon issue, whatever that is, to my client. So it just goes to show the lack of investigation and why I really believe that this whole bacon rhetoric is inflammatory and it's discrimination. And we all know what that is. And there should be no place for that in this That's what we've done. And as a result, my client was beaten and attacked and sits in the jail.
Ms. Freeman, what was going through your mind when you saw your husband on the ground?
I thought they was gonna kill him.
Sorry.
I thought they were gonna kill him. I thought my husband was gonna be dead. I did. I thought my husband was gonna get shot. And I didn't know what to do. That's what was going through my head.
We don't have any more questions. Thank you so much for being here.
One more question. Are you aware that police charge you now with terrorist threats?
Yes, I am aware that they charged him with a terrorist threat, which was allegedly why they were there in the first place, but interestingly, didn't charge him with that initially. In fact, they just charged him with the terroristic threat. So I think that's an interesting fact, and I look forward to learning more about that, since that's really what allegedly has caused this whole thing.
I think there's surveillance video from my mom helping some of this thing, help match these stories up a little better, because like you said, it's very different narrative.
I certainly hope so, and I look forward to the day where we get it.
Are you taking legal action at this point? Or
Right now, our number one priority and concern is the criminal allegations against him. As he sits in this jail, he cannot work, he cannot provide. So I am representing him in the criminal matter, and everything else we will thoroughly investigate and make a decision at the appropriate time.
Can we get your name spelling?
Ms. Franklin, who's here with you?
My family, his family, my friends, my close friends. Everybody's here to support us. Everybody has heard about my husband.
His 4 children are here in the front. You would raise your hand, please. This is Mr. Lewis's mom, his sisters, his grandson, his entire family.
What do you say to these IHOP employees? What do you say to this staff?
At this time, we don't have a comment, but we are requesting and requiring at some point that we get an apology for what happened. It didn't have to happen that way. It shouldn't have happened that way, and it's not okay. So.
He tried to apologize at the end. He said that he didn't know all this was going to happen. He caused it.
Who was that?
The IHOP man, Joseph.
What was he doing during this? What was IHOP employees doing?
Nothing.
Probably
They're just like kind of
laughing.
like
I don't know.
they were on the site somewhere, but I was recording, so I couldn't really see what they were doing. But yeah, like you said, they were probably laughing because they were laughing before the police
Yes.
got called. My sister was one of the people that was also pushed on the video, and she says that she heard.
And actually, at this time, I don't want to make that, because right now we are not speculating. What you've heard today are things that we know for sure. That these 2 witnesses who were there saw, and so I don't want to comment on things that we haven't been able to confirm at this point.
Ms. Franklin, did you say you were there celebrating birthday? You guys expected to celebrate the birthday?
No. That was Miss Liz.
You thankful Liz filmed it?
I'm so happy she filmed it. She did such a great job. I don't think that we could be here if Miss Liz did not film it. She has been 100% reason why this is where it is today.
Was everyone you dealt with at IHOP?
No.
And I think it's important to note too that prior to the night that this happened, Miss Liz and my client and his wife had never met her, had no interactions with her. They're just 2 customers at IHOP. My client was going to come in to order, and then they were going to leave, and they were happening to leave as well. And this is when all of this happened. So I think that's important. At this time, we're not going to take any other questions. Thank you all so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Did you get it? Oh, good. Let me send it to